Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Jake Doris. Today in our neighborhoods, we're cooling down just a bit now that frontal passage has made its way into our neighborhoods and has stalled out now in central Michigan, allowing this morning for showers and thunderstorms to persist. 82 degrees in Lansing as we're tracking scattered thunderstorms, some of which could be turning severe, but later on this evening. Now we have the second area of low pressure. This is the second area that's moving towards the state of Michigan that's going to be driving our severe threat later on this evening as it tracks right across the state as it heads northeast today. Now we could even see some isolated thunderstorm chances after today as we enter the back half of the week. But following this, we'll really start to switch our pattern over to a ridging pattern, allowing for warm, moist air to make its way into our state with temperatures possibly getting into the 90s as we enter next week. But let's stick with today. We still have this level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather that has been moved a bit more north into portions of Clinton County now as well. We're looking at all impacts still on the table, from damaging winds, hail, to even a few tornadoes possible. Let's get right to our satellite and radar. Here's those storms we're watching. They're a bit more north than our neighborhoods this morning. We're still staying dry, but as we continue on this morning, we could start to see some of those thunderstorms make their way into our neighborhoods. Now, these first rounds of storms should be staying non-severe as we're still needing to build that instability and other key ingredients for the severe threat later on as we're awaiting that low pressure to make its way into the state. But again, we could already see the rain begin, and that umbrella definitely is going to be needed once you head out the door and into these afternoon hours, even the late morning hours. Once we enter 5 p.m., here we go. This is when we start to see the severe threat really start to up. But now we're going to continue to watch this in the 6 o'clock hour, into the 8 o'clock hour, even all the way past midnight here as that area of low pressure tracks through the state. Once we get into tomorrow morning, we have a chance for an isolated thunderstorm and a few shower chances on the back end of this system, but nothing severe is being tracked after today in terms of severe storms. Again, for threats this evening, tonight, we're looking at a few tornadoes possible. Damaging winds is one of our main impacts, as well as possible hail, heavy rainfall with potential flooding concerns, as the damaging wind outlook does show that we have a pretty decent shot of seeing those gusty winds, possibly in some areas exceeding 60 miles per hour. Again, slight risk now across all of our neighborhoods for excessive rainfall, so we're going to be watching for those flooding impacts, localized area of ponding, as we'll be moving on next week into our heat risk starting out here into Thursday. We're still looking fine Friday, but then we'll start to see that risk really increase, even getting into that extreme risk for southern neighborhoods by the time we get into next week. We're going to be watching it. Super 7-day forecast shows, again, isolated thunderstorm chances all the way through Saturday. As look at this weekend, we're seeing high temps possibly reaching the 90s and staying there all the way into midweek next week. Yes, with overnight lows into the 70s and present moisture, it's going to be feeling a bit uncomfortable, a bit humid, and we're going to be watching it very carefully.